Hello and welcome. In this exciting episode, I've gotten out everything I made over the past 3 months, and I'm going to take a look back at what went well, what I learned from, and decide what I'm going to focus on in the next few months. So let us begin. I actually made this one in December last year, but since this is the first quarterly review, I thought I would include it. I did film myself making this jacket, but the video I made is an hour long and it's a little bit boring. So I thought when I get around to beading this, I'll just re-edit that footage down and make it shorter and just add the beading bit to the end. As much as I absolutely adore this Chanel tweed and the digital print silk that I use for the lining, I do think the beaded trim that I make for this will either make or break it, because I mean, in the wrong light it could come across as incredibly ugly. So yeah, hope I do the right beading for this one. Next up was the Italian tweed in purple with the fluoro green dots in it and the absurdly oversized trim. I absolutely love this, but yeah, it's gonna have to live in a little tissue paper cloud inside an archive box because it's not the most practical. But I mean, it was super fun to make and I think it looks amazing. And I learned a lot about editing and just making videos and filming myself sewing, which has just proved to be a really frustrating process. But yeah, I love this jacket. It is slightly impractical. If I had my time over, I probably would make something not quite so 3D, but this was so much fun to make and I just love it. It's beautiful. Next was the Peach Melba jacket. It is a bit same as the purple Italian tweed in that it's got a very, very three-dimensional beaded trim on it, which I also adore. What I love about this one was that I took the idea of Peach Melba and just went with it. And pretty sure no one else saw this tweed and thought Peach Melba, but yeah, I really like what I've done with this. Really like it. And I'm still looking for a big antique brooch in a leaf shape to wear just on it, because I think that would just be the cherry on top. But yeah, I really like, I hadn't used those big sequin before in this way, so I was a little worried about whether that would work. But yeah, I think they're beautiful. And yeah, the balance was maintained because I was worried because they're so much lighter than the big clusters. So I was worried about that. But yeah, the spacing worked. And yeah, I think having the sequin base under all the beading is what's vital when you're using beads of different weights and things. So yeah, I really like how this one turned out. It's a really balanced piece and it's also kind of fun. And I like that about it. Next was the green one. If I have my time over, now that I've just finished that beaded pink and blue one, I think I would have done this as a beaded all over jacket instead of waiting to put trim on it. I think that would have been really cute. But I still absolutely love this fabric. It reminds me of chopped up cabbage, bizarrely, but yeah, it's very cute. Next up is the banana one. One of my absolute favorite things about this jacket is that the inside of the banana jacket looks like the inside of a banana, and the outside is yellows and browns and a little bit of green, which is what the skin of a banana looks like. This is another of my Chanel tweeds, and it's just so incredibly unique And I'm really glad that I did it justice. I was a bit anxious about finding the perfect frosting for this particular cupcake because it's just, I just love it so much. It's so very Chanel. But yeah, I'm really happy with the way this grouped beading one turned out. I am a little bit disappointed because I used these insects. There's sort of buried underneath there's insects, and there's some, where are they? There, you can see the other one. And there's some on the back as well. And I was going to add extra ones so that if you've seen the video, you know. But yeah, I had a few extra and I was going to sew them, attach them so that they looked like they were crawling all over it. But then I thought, I don't really want people coming up and asking if they're real or how they're attached or anything like that. So I left them off. But yeah, I do regret it. I think I would rather have them attached and just never be able to wear the jacket than compromise the all over design. Because I mean, I literally have more over, gosh, I think it's about 100 jackets now. So it's not like I'm gonna go without a jacket, and I really would prefer to not compromise the design just because a few people are creepy. But yeah, oh, I just love this one so much. Next is the red plaid. Nice jacket, fabulous lining. I'm so glad I used it. I wasn't sure about this silk, but oh, it turned out awesome. I was just going to do a conservative trim for this, like black sequin base with red glass pearls, but after I've just finished the last jacket I did, the blue and pink one with the all over beading, it has occurred to me that this would look absolutely awesome because I have these glass beads in all different reds, and I just think it would be absolutely awesome if I sort of beaded over the white lines, because it sort of has some flecks of pink in there, a few threads of pink in there. And yeah, I mean, the lining is already on and the sleeves are already attached, so all over beading would be an absolute headache, but I just think it would look so cute. So I'm gonna leave this on the rack for a little bit, and yeah, I guess we'll see at the next quarterly review whether I did it or not. Next came the velvet jacket with the floral beaded trim. Excessive amount of flowers. With this one, I just spent so much time doing the beaded trim. If I had my time over, I would make it wider and I would use about half the amount of flowers. I would probably take out all the black ones because I can use them in something else. And yeah, and with the extra width, then you'll probably use the rest and it'll look like half the amount. And oh, this just hurt my fingers so much because I was on a really tight deadline to try and get everything filmed. And I mean, the jacket had been made for ages, for years, and I just had never got around to doing a trim for it. And yeah, I also regret that you can't see the beads because I use some, as you can see, some of the larger ones are a lot lighter, and then there's these gorgeous cranberry colored glass beads. I really regret that I used those large glass beads that are such a beautiful red, and you can't even see them. So yeah, less flowers would mean you get to enjoy the light in the glass beads. And also, I just feel like it's a little too overwhelming. When you give flowers, because when I was a kid, one of my first jobs was working in a florist that did weddings. And yeah, there's some florists that just cram flowers in and don't give them space to breathe. But if you give them a little space and you understand how they grow, I mean, these are plastic, they're not going to grow, I know that. But yeah, when you give things a little bit of space, you can sort of get a chance to see their beauty a little more. So I do regret that I made this one so crowded. I think it would be a lot more beautiful if I pulled it apart and just took a lot more time in making it. I think trying to squeeze my beading and jacket making into a publishing schedule, weekly publishing schedule, it doesn't work. So yeah, I think this one I was just sort of still trying to sort of keep on a schedule, but there's just such a massive amount of work. And I think just by putting out one video a week, it sort of makes it seem like it's just basically as easy as super gluing some glitter down or some flowers down or something, but it's, yeah, a hell of a lot more work. And I guess I could show more of the process, but yeah, I still think about how much my fingers hurt from doing this one, because when you doing stacks is different than just sewing on one bead. You sort of have to hold everything in place, but you also have to hold it in a way in which the thread still is allowed to pass through everything but maintains tension. It's such a pain, but I mean, look at the outcome. So yeah, this one's going in a bed of tissue paper in an archive box, and I'll probably take it out. I mean, lots of other sewing YouTubers do year in review things, so I think I'll take it out at the end of the year. And yeah, its head will be on the chopping block. I may decide to take this apart and redo it. Just depends how much else I've done before then. Okay, next. This is one of my favorites. It reminds me of Monet's water lily paintings, and you know, the daubs of beautiful color and just the excitement and energy of it. And because of that, it makes me want to visit Paris. But I just love this one so much. It was incredibly difficult to make and attach, but so beautiful. 4 more to go. We have the grey Linton one with lots of different colors in it and lots of textures. This was a headache to sew because of all the different textures. My very old sewing machine didn't like all the jumping around, but it's so beautiful, and I am really happy with the outcome. But I think I probably went with the grey trim just because I had so many comments about telling me that I was doing everything too bright and I never did any conservative ones, or, you know, in muted colors. So I think that probably played on it, although I do really love that I used the blue and yellow beads in this one. So yeah, I know when I started my Instagram account, Perfect Jacket, I used to post pictures of the jackets I was making and sort of the making of, and I just got so many critical comments, or just some were nasty, some were just needlessly critical. And yeah, in the end I stopped posting pictures of my jackets, and I don't want that to happen with my YouTube channel. So I sort of have to find a way where I can make it interesting for viewers, but also at the end of the day, I'm just making a collection of jackets for myself. So yeah, I know Shan from Kittenish Behavior sort of struggles with the same thing on her YouTube channel. She basically just makes a lot of dresses and some other things, but mostly dresses. And she also says, she was talking about how she always gets comments about people telling her she should make different sorts of dresses, or people telling her she should make things apart from dresses. And I don't know, I think she makes quite a few different types of things. But also, if you've already gone through the process of trying to find out what you like, then, you know, I'm not some teenager or someone in their early 20s who's going to try out absolutely everything. I already did that, and I know that someone with such a short torso and tiny shoulders, you know, this is a collarless cropped jacket with longer sleeves is something that makes me look like I'm not a child and makes me look like an actual adult. I think this silhouette, it makes me feel comfortable. And also I love the tweeds that I've bought. I bought them because I love them, and yeah, I don't know, I guess it's something you just have to be mindful of, the balance of what's interesting to me and what's interesting to other people. Anyway, I do really love this jacket. It's so pretty, but I also think that the spikes don't really come across on this one, and I'm glad that I only used up half of them because I've got enough to have another chance on one more jacket. So we'll see how that one goes. Next was the navy one. I did film this, but yeah, in hindsight, that was a mistake. It was a mock-up for a McCall's pattern that I hadn't made in, gosh, at least a decade, and it was just a nightmare. There's problems with the pattern. I feel like they made a mistake, and because of that, the instructions are really chaotic, and they make you do everything in the wrong order just to compensate for the mistake they made in the pattern drafting. So yeah, I did film myself making this, and I have made, this is the jacket and the lining, but yeah, I sort of stopped once I'd figured out all the problems and how to solve them. I stopped filming and went on to the next jacket and made that one the way I would make it. So yeah, I think I'm just going to delete the footage for this one, and yeah, I'm just going to do a nice plain black and blue beaded trim for this one. And then for the green Gucci, it's actually a Linton tweed, but I call it the green Gucci. I'm going to probably just do a plain black and green trim, mixing the glass and the plastic green, dark green beads. I was going to use the bead clusters and some other heavy stone-like beads, but yeah, I think I'll just go with this sort of slightly boring classical beaded trim for this one, because yeah, I sort of divide my jackets into absolutely frivolous ones that probably won't wear except on very special occasions, and then the ones I can just wear out and about all the time, and then business ones. And I think if I do a classical trim for this one, just in dark green beads on a black base, and with the navy one just do the same sort of conservative, slightly smaller than average trim, then yeah, I'll just be able to wear them both casually, but yeah, to business meetings as well. And yeah, I'm kind of happy with that. Then last but definitely not least, we have the beaded jacket that's got beading all over it, and I love this so much that I kind of I've pulled out some tweeds, and yeah, I'm trying to see which other tweeds I can do this to, because I just love this so much. Like, I love these ones as well, don't get me wrong, but making the beaded trim and attaching the beaded trim to the jacket is such a pain. I have ordered some extra large pins from a Flora Supply place. You know, the pins that hold the mother of the bride's corsage to her dress or her jacket. I've ordered a whole box of them. So yeah, hopefully that will make stitching on the beaded trim easier. But this was just so much fun, and it uses quite a lot of beads, and I just think, I don't know, the part of me that loves using up as many beads as possible, I just want to see how much beading I can do on a jacket without it, you know, completely buckling under the weight. So yeah, I mean, this has a decent amount of beading on it. It really does. It probably has a bit more than one wallet box of beads on it. So yeah, I've sort of gone through my other colors and worked out, you know, I have an excess of these beads. I should try and find a tweed for this. So yeah, I think I'll do a fabric haul type video of a box or two of my tweeds, and I'll just go through and decide which one's going to, you know, be a slimline jacket with beaded trim, which ones are going to be fully beaded, which ones are going to be vintage style, which ones are going to be vintage style with just a, you know, a small amount of beading on them. And I also have, so that's what the vintage ones look like with the beading on them. Completely adorable, but very different. And I also have these sort of summer type jackets that are made out of cotton. And yeah, and then I've done sort of freestyle beading over the top. Like, I absolutely love the full-on beading of this one, but it doesn't have any sort of focus or pattern in it. It's, I mean, it does have a pattern, but it doesn't look like it has one, and it doesn't look like it has a theme or anything. So I am interested in making a lot more of these and just, yeah, using more and more and more beads. But I'm also really interested in doing more like this, because this beading was just so much fun to do, and I think it looks kind of beautiful too. So yeah, I might go through all my tweeds and work out which one is which. I do think that green one, I do think that works better on cottons than on tweeds, just because tweeds are already so interesting. But yeah, I'm just so happy with the way this one turned out. It looks beautiful. The problem with these ones, because it has 3 layers of netting underneath the tweed, not just one, is that you can't just stack them in a storage box. You have to, like, I'll either have to leave this on a hanger, or I'll have to put it in an archive box and scrunch up tissue and put it in the sleeve so that it doesn't get any creases, that it always sort of maintains its roundness. So that is a problem. I mean, I either just clear a space in my wardrobe for all over beaded jackets, or I order a bucket load more of archive boxes. So that is going to be a problem after I do 10 or so. But for the first 10, what the hell? I'm just gonna have fun, because this is just so much fun to do. And you just get to spend time with, I mean, this tweed is glorious. And so are the beads. Like, there's skulls, and there's the glass pearls, and there's all these different types of glass beads. Some of them have electroplating. I will be so boring when I wear this, because I'll just be looking around for my most favorite beads. Those ones there with the electroplated metallic sheen on them, I love them. There's also one heart bead in this whole jacket. I only used one blue heart, so yeah, there's a little Where's Wally in it. But yeah, I'm really, really happy with this, and I'm looking forward to doing much more of this embellishment, because it's such a relief to get to the end and just have to sew up the lining. Whereas normally you have to, once you've done all the fun bit of beading the trim, you then have to spend literally hours cutting it out, preparing it, and attaching it to the jacket. And it's just, when you're on a really, really tight schedule of posting, like uploading videos, it's too much stress. So I think if I can mix it up and make different types of jackets, then it will just be much easier. And I'll get back to enjoying all the good bits of making these jackets. The beading on this jacket also sort of reminds me of those mushrooms that bleed sap. Anyway, just thought I'd share that with you. So thank you for watching this video and listening to me ramble about all the jackets that I've made over the past 3 months. It has been awesome fun making them and also a lot of hard work. But yeah, I look forward to the rest of the year and all the jackets that I'm going to make. So yeah, thank you again for watching.